What is up, Xaliter here. Combat in Outward can be difficult, especially for new players. Knowing your enemy's strengths and weaknesses is a huge part in preparing to fight them. Here, I'll go over the strengths and weaknesses of the standard enemies in the Chersonese. I split up the different enemies into different categories: Bandit, Wildlife, Troglodyte, Elemental, Undead, Golem, Scourge, and Wendigo. As I talk about the different categories, I will flash a picture of them as well as their strengths and weaknesses and where they can be found. The number in the parentheses behind the element name is a resistance percentage that the enemy has. There are some spoilers in the bandit section just in case you want to skip that section. And we will be starting with the bandit section, so here's some time for you to skip that section if you want. Now that we gave the spoiler warning, let's start with the bandits. Bandits are very common and can be found throughout the open world as well as in some dungeons. While some bandit enemies are tankier than others, such as the Bandit Captain, Bandit Defender, Bandit Lieutenant, and Xaliter variants, a common trait that links all of them is a relative weakness to decay. For many of the bandits, this will result in a negative resistance to decay, although some of the tankier bandits will just have low resistance to decay compared to the resistances to other elements. Because of this, I recommend using decay-based damage against these enemies, whether that is a decay weapon or a decay or poison imbue. The wildlife category is probably the most diverse category in terms of strengths and weaknesses. The pro birds have no resistances, so they technically have no relative strengths or weaknesses. Any weapon and imbue would be equally good against them. The hyenas are weak to fire, and the armored variant is also weak to lightning, probably because the metal electrocutes it a bunch more than normal. A fire imbue or weapon would be great against them. For the mantises, they are strong to the respective element, so for the mantis shrimp that is lightning, for the mana mantis that is ethereal, and for the rock mantis that is physical. They are all weak to frost, and the mantis shrimp is also weak to decay. For simplicity's sake, an ice imbue or weapon would be good against them. Taunosaurs are strong against decay and weak against frost. I have the same recommendation for them as for the mantises. The next category is the Troglodytes. They are usually found in caves in similar locations. They all have similar resistances in that they are strong against decay and weak against lightning, but they also follow the respective elements. So, for the purple mana troglodytes, they are also strong against ethereal. The troglodytes that look like they have extra armor protection, which are the orange and blue ones, have extra resistances to physical damage. I recommend lightning weapons or imbues against them. The Arcane Elementals are all the same regardless of their actual element. They are resistant to lightning damage. Basically, any other damage type would be good against them, so fire, frost, decay, or ethereal would be my recommendation. Next is the Undead. The minor skeleton basically has no resistances, so I will ignore them. Ghosts are resistant to physical damage and super weak to ethereal. I would recommend an ethereal weapon or varnish, although any elemental damage would be better than pure physical. Golems are next. I will split them into non-Lightmender creations and Lightmender creations, with the Lightmender creations being the yellow glowy ones. The main difference between them is that non-Lightmender creations are strong against decay and some are resistant against fire. The Lightmender creations are weak to decay and strong against lightning. All of the golems are weak to ethereal, however. I recommend using ethereal weapons or imbues against the golems, although decay is also good against the Lightmender golems. Scourge are not that common in the Chersonese, but they can be found beyond Ghost Pass, near the Cabal Hermit Tower, and the Corrupted Tombs. Since they are Scourge enemies, they are weak to lightning damage. Lightning damage and or imbues will make quick work of them. The last is the Wendigo. When I first started playing Outward, I found these creatures to be the most terrifying. However, I learned their strengths and weaknesses, and now they are fairly easy to fight. They are strong against frost and decay, but weak to fire and lightning, so fire or lightning weapons and or imbues would be great against them. Some standard enemies are very common, and it is possible to run into multiple enemies at the same time, so I did not go over the damage types that they inflict, since preparing for one may result in worse defense against another. However, the most common damage type is physical, so that will probably be the best bet if you want some general defense. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go over enemy damage types in future videos and or make another video about the damage types for the Chersonese standard enemies. I went over a bunch of enemy weaknesses and recommended some elemental damages with weapons or imbues, but how are you supposed to get these things? Well, if you are wondering how to get certain imbues, click on the info card for a video on how to craft rags and varnishes. Also, if you are wondering how to get certain equipment, click on the info card for a playlist on how to get different equipment and their stats. Otherwise, I'll see you later.